Right.
the wave of people that got low and were falling into each other and or getting low because of fear of bullets. I can't even stress how crazy it was. It's just a mass exodus and a mass movement of people on the fucking ground, whether they want it to be or not. Yeah, man. Ryan. Hi, I'm here.
Hey, me too.
Because we couldn't have been, let me tell you.
I was just about to say barely.
And I'm not even being dramatic. I think there's a point at which, and y'all know, for the people, the regular listeners, let's go do the introductions. We're going to crash land on this episode. We're going to get through it, y'all. I want to thank everyone for listening. My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm Ryan Hale. What's going on, y'all?
Of course, we're joined by producer Sarah. We always take this moment to do the check-in. I feel like the check-in for me is going to be pretty much probably taking up our first topic because I went to a music festival this weekend. A lot of y'all know, we both love festivals, man. If y'all know,
I should have actually been there.
Well,
maybe, yeah. well,
oh man,
yeah, we'll see.
A lot to talk about of the Live Nation produced Lovers and Friends Festival that went down in Las Vegas this past weekend. It was a one-day festival that happened twice, and I think that's what was confusing to some people. Some people are like, I thought it was 2 days.
Right.
You buy a one-day wristband. They did the show 2 different days because the first day sold out. So then they added similar lineup, even though there was last minute drops and additions that they had to do last minute, subjective to the days, just due to artist scheduling conflicts and or COVID. Brandy got COVID. I was really excited to see Brandy.
Wow.
Did not see Brandy this weekend because she got COVID. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Things like that. So people had to be substituted and such. But we'll get into Lovers and Friends because as you have probably seen on my social media, you've probably seen across other platforms, potentially or not. On top of a weekend of a lot of violence, which will get acknowledged during this show as well, there was a large crowd surge at the music festival that I was at, in which there was large stampedes. Everyone was forcefully evacuated, and we saw a lot of things. I saw some things, so we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Amidst a lot of other things, new Kendrick album. Thug and Gunna happened right after we recorded last week, so we didn't have a chance to hit that. So we'll take our time. Hale, how are you today, man?
I'm good, man. A little tired. Been working nonstop the last couple weeks, but overall, I'm good. Just really learning how to rest when I get the opportunity. So overall, I'm good, man. Excited for the show. I had a good weekend. It was just busy, but a solid weekend. Listened to Kendrick's album a lot, so we'll dive into that. But overall, man, I'm ready to rock. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not gonna lie. Therapy whipped my ass this morning.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Which isn't always a bad thing.
It's definitely not a bad thing. I mean that in the best way, but it's one of those things that has you taking inventory.
Right.
I think therapy is just a beautiful mechanism, period. But I think in particular what I'm now taking inventory of and how I'm looking at myself, especially after a pretty interesting weekend. And I hear you on rest because I did the festival in the only way that was natural for my schedule, what I could do, but I had a gig. I had a wedding. Congrats to Carl and Gia on Friday up here in the Palisades, and it ended at midnight. Now the festival gates opened up at 11 a.m. in Vegas, and it was kind of like take a 2-hour nap and go, or just bonsai that shit. You know what I'm saying? Get out there, because sister, friends, they already had a room, and it's just kind of like, if you just get here, we'll let you in and you can sleep. So I did that, and it was just, and I was able to get there. I had a friend join me, so that way, we can co-drive and everything, and I'm so glad I did. But I was just beat. By the time I got to the festival, I was just tired. So I was already on my second win. I had to get 3 or 4 or 5 more wins at the festival just to sustain. So it was wild, man. And then we come back yesterday, Sunday, at the point of time of recording. So I slept a long time yesterday into this morning, and it was much needed. And not even enough. I'll say I'm looking forward to a nap. I don't know if it's gonna happen like right after this, but I want a nap, and I deserve a nap, y'all.
I feel that.
New affirmation. New affirmation for everybody listening. Here's I'm not even going because I have it written down in mine. I deserve naps. I deserve rest.
I
Shit
was
you
gonna say
not.
I deserve rest. Yeah,
I deserve rest.
that's a good one. I
I
like that.
promise you. Like I work hard. I play hard. I also
Hmm.
rest hard, and I
Yeah,
deserve it. And I
no
deserve it.
doubt.
I'm just I'm just gonna give that.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna give it. All right. We got to start this show, y'all. We got to get it kicked off. Thank everybody for listening. Follow us everywhere at Unfiltered Gems Podcast. For Ryan, for your boy Malcolm. Let's get the show started. The Unfiltered Gems Podcast. How is everybody doing? My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I am Ryan Hale.
Let's just jump right on in, y'all. For those that are new and that are listening, I feel like I want to do a reintroduction. I feel like there might be more listeners to this pod than maybe in some other pods, because a lot of people are going to be like, what the hell really happened, right? I already teased it. I told people, I was like, look, just listen to the pod if you want to know, because I don't like to repeat myself too much. And I was telling y'all right before we were like on break, like before, as we're about to start, I was like, I've talked to a few people that were there about it, but I just really don't think that we really I don't think I've given myself the space really to like really recap all of what happened. So you already know, Lovers and Friends Music Festival, Las Vegas, Live Nation put it on. I'm gonna keep saying their names because I'm gonna put some. We'll talk about it. Someone's gonna have to be to blame here. You know what I'm saying? Similar to how we've talked about festivals in the past when it comes to our own festival experiences, concert experiences. Even we picked apart Astroworld, right? Everybody in these moments want to look at somewhere and blame someone, something, looking for the person to blame, and there's accountability on a lot of different parts.
Right.
But when it comes to matters of this, I think organization and the people that are handling logistics and operations are going to be the main people that can control things like what happened. So that's why I got to keep saying Live Nation. So we already mentioned the festival. Super dope. Checking in for the 99s and 2000s Head Ass Festival. Headlines include Miss Lauryn Hill, Usher, Ludacris, Lil Jon, Mario. I saw TLC. I saw Maya. I saw Khalees. I saw Sierra. I saw Next. Shout out to my dog DJ Kid Fresh. He's the DJ for Next, man. I got to see him. I could just pull up on him. It was great. We saw Sean Paul, and I saw SWV.
Wow.
I saw Baby Bash and Frankie J. Man, Baby Bash and Frankie J were really, really great. Like they opened up and I didn't think, like, I don't know, I wasn't even sure who it was. The next thing it was like, it was supposed to be John B. John B did not show up. Like there were just already a lot of bullshit.
Wait,
okay?
so who was it? Instead of John B, it was who? You just said?
They were Baby Bash and Frankie J.
Baby Bash and Frankie. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yo, there was a moment they did I'm Back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Yeah. Bro, that used to be like our New Year's Eve song at my family house growing up. We'd have a whole joint doing that song. And they just did that and I forgot. Like it had been a moment. Yeah. I've been digitizing my old home movies. I'm pointing behind me. Thank y'all for watching on YouTube. Even though you cannot see it, but I have a whole bag. I have a VCR, this digitizer device, and then a whole bag full of. This is just one bag of home movies that I'm converting. I'm getting them all digitized because I'm working on a family project, and so I've been all nostalgic lately. I've been looking back, finding old New Year's Eve footage. I'm like seeing myself. I'm like, oh my god, what are the answers? Anyway, I digress. Baby Bash and Frankie J were really dope. I just was not expecting it. But I saw amazing acts, man. I saw Jodeci. Like, it was a Ja Rule Ashanti. I know you love Ja Rule and Ashanti. I saw them. I saw Neo.
Really? Neo was there?
Dog!
Wow.
Like,
that would have been dope to see.
Fam, when I tell you, like, I really was moving, and that's how I am at festivals, man. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. But
Did Neo have a set, or he was just a special guest?
No, he had a set. He was on the lineup.
Really? I didn't see him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of mad you missed out.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Sunday was the day to go, though. Clearly, we'll talk about, because I had friends that went on Sunday and that didn't have a chance to go on, or that had tickets for Sunday instead of Saturday, and clearly they got their shit together by Sunday. We'll put it that way. And so did the weather. So a lot of amazing acts, but there was a massive crowd surge that sent thousands of people, including myself and the people that I was with, forcefully evacuated in a very, very, very violent way. Now, there's going to be multiple accounts as to what happened, and I have no reason but to say that everybody's account isn't wrong and it's not right. Because that's what caused the mass hysteria. So, uh, by the time it's the morning of, I'm looking everywhere. Even that night, I'm looking. I want to know what LVPD have to say. I want to know what local news outlets have to say. I want to know what Live Nation and what the festival sponsors. I want to know what they have to say as to what exactly happened right before Usher was supposed to take the stage.
Oh,
TLC had just finished, and mind you, this is a slot. This is Usher, Luda, and Lil Jon
right.
sharing
Yeah.
the spot. Sunday, find out, because of course I'm asking, like, how did the performance go? They performed for 100, or excuse me, an hour and 20 minutes. Like, I can only imagine. You know what? Of course, I'm seeing clips, and I'm like, I'm hurt. It's fine. Now, I've seen Usher before, but I ain't never seen Usher. And actually, I
Exactly.
saw Usher and Lil Jon, and the Roots were their band. It was fucking incredible. Shout out to Roots Picnic, like
Yeah.
2016. You already know that was one of the most iconic things I've ever seen in my life. But it was Usher, Luda, and Lil Jon.
Mm.
And apparently, the show was fucking incredible. But right before they're supposed to take the stage, I am just looking at my friends. I see Maya here, Amber, Joe, Callie, Tremont. We're all huddled in. I look to my left and I just hear people screaming. And out of nowhere, a rush of people they're either falling down or they're getting low. People were just low, whether they wanted to be or not, because people are shouting gun. They're shooting. There's a fight. I'm just saying things that I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
As now I'm being trampled and I'm doing what I can to stay up. I mentioned, like, kind of the trauma, and at first, it's like you don't want to be over dramatic and all these things, because I never got low. I didn't hear bullets. I didn't see bullets flying. All I do, I look over here and I'm looking to see why I'm seeing people spreading from one space, and the way it was so aggressive. I mean, hell, you gotta understand, this happened within seconds.
Mm.
It wasn't like you can kind of like jump and avoid it. No, like, the
Right.
wave of people that got low and were falling into each other and or getting low because of fear of bullets. I can't even stress how crazy it was. It's just a mass exodus and a mass movement of people on the fucking ground, whether they wanted to be or not. So when people are talking about, I saw blood and I'm seriously injured, and the fact that the reports are only saying that 3 people are injured, I find that incredibly hard to believe.
Mm.
Even my own sister, dog, felt like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of look back on the moment, because, like, I look for my people and we're all kind of reaching for each other's hands, even though the crowd's too much. I lose Joe and Amber's hand. I lose Callan Tremont's hand. Maya gets right here, and like I got her like right here linked up, but she can't. She's having trouble standing up. I feel my shaking, dog. Like, people around me everywhere. And then Amber's back is to the crowd that's moving forward, and she can't pull herself up. And I literally see her hand dip into the crowd.
Mm.
Niggas, like, fucking haunting, like my
Yeah.
sister.
Right.
So I play it back, and I'm just like, fuck, okay, that, like, and some people, we're counting it the next day, and people are like, that was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. And I think I saw those accounts on Twitter the night of, and I'm like, I don't know. But days later, I'm like, Jesus,
Mm.
that was really fucking scary. And I can't say in the moment I was scared one bit. And I'm not saying that on no hero shit. I'm just
Right.
saying in the moment I'm action. I'm very actionable. Let's handle it. I think it's playing back what I saw and how I felt is what is really, really, really haunting. And I've been in crowd surges before, but this one in particular, it was really rough because people had withstood a poorly planned festival up until that moment. And poor planning comes in the fact that it was Vegas in the summertime, and during like halfway through the day, they ran out of water. How you got more alcohol than water at a music festival in Vegas in May?
Oh, that's terrible.
There wasn't enough shade. You oversold tickets. One, security wasn't checking shit. We're supposed to have clear bags now. Same with smoking grooves.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at it. So naturally, when we hear reports that, oh, someone had a gun or there was a shooting, everyone's right and everyone's wrong, because there could have been one in there. They wasn't checking shit. They really weren't. Like, let's be real honest. They weren't even checking tickets, man. Like you get through there, and like the way people, like, security was so lackadaisical. And when we're being pushed out and we're finally coming out, everyone's getting up off the ground, and like we're just moving towards the exit, and everyone sees where the exit signs are.
Mm-hmm.
Security guards are saying, "Oh, I think it was a shooting." Other people are saying, "Yeah, everyone's evacuating." So here's the kicker. We get out. We're passing people crying, people, getting themselves off the ground or they're dislocated from their friends and they're looking for their people that they came with. We get back to the hotel. We're hearing accounts of everything. Person in the hotel. My daughter was there. She just texted me, said that she saw blood on the fence. Jesus, that's a little dramatic, but fuck. Could be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I saw people trying to hop the fences into VIP, try to hop into the photo pit, try to hop everywhere. People that couldn't hop fences, people that could, and just trying to get refuge away from this falling crowd that was moving for minutes. We get back to the hotel, and why do I hear Usher on stage?
Oh, from your hotel?
Yes.
Okay.
But I thought everyone was forcibly evacuated. The show kept going.
Wow.
That's what's even more wild. Lauryn Hill goes on after.
Mm-hmm.
Brings out Wyclef. Both nights, nigga. They do a Fugees reunion.
Oh. That's wild.
Like, it's I don't know. Like everyone's gonna be right. And I'm looking, everyone's gonna be right, everyone's gonna be wrong. But Live Nation and the festival themselves have, as long with Las Vegas PD, have chalked it up to being a security incident that ended up being a false alarm, which now they are saying 3 people have been injured. But they're calling it a false alarm.
Wow.
The festival even put on screens after that. Yeah, like just a security incident, everyone stay put. But half of us were already out by that time. It was thousands of us that left.
So the thousands that left, you were told to leave, forced to leave by like security, or those people left out of fear?
I think I'm going to say majority of people left out of fear because like
Gotcha. Okay.
But then it's like everyone's saying evacuate. So we're hearing evacuate. I don't think at this point anyone's fighting it. Nor did, of course, anyone I'm with, did they want to stick around? Because it's like, what the fuck were we sticking around for? We were just trampled.
No, I got you. I just didn't know if the evacuation was like from security, like they were leading the evacuation, like get out, get out, get out.
No,
Or if
people
it
were
was
just running for the
people were just
exit.
gotcha.
People were running for the
Okay.
exit. And so, again, that's what sucks because there's a part of me that for a minute felt like, okay, all these accounts are just a little too dramatic. Like this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because a few people heard gun in it, and it's a Mandela effect. It's telephone.
Right.
I heard today someone who wasn't there said, yeah, a speaker popped at a certain place and people thought it was a gun. Here's the thing. By the time we get back to the hotel, a different person who was talking about the blood on the fence was saying, oh yeah, I was at the vendor tent and I saw bullets fly through the tent.
Yeah, so that's one of those, like you said, those telephone incidents where it's kind of unfortunately a he said, she said, he said, she said type of thing where it's easy for them to chalk it up as a false alarm. But unfortunately, like you said, people had already stayed through a poorly planned event. I mean,
you said
from the sounds of it,
they said they had AC trucks that people had to. And Maya went to it, Amber and Joe went to it. You had to wait 30 minutes only to get in there. You can only be in there for 20 minutes. They're cycling people through, and they said the AC wasn't even kicking. You're out of water. You're charging people for ice. Again, no shade.
from the sounds of it, it sounds like the people on Saturday especially need refunds of some sort.
Oh yeah, they've got to do something about this.
Yeah, because that's not okay.
We missed the headliners, the people that we wanted
that's what I was about to say.
to see the most. Just again, and I y'all heard me already big up the artists that I saw. I fucked with the artists. I'll even give y'all a slight more holistic. I'll give y'all a quick 2-minute review of the good shit that happened, because there was good shit that happened earlier in the day. But man, it was hot. We get in there, we go to the water stations to fill up. Like the water stations always had water, even though the lines were always long. People are cutting them. It's flooding at one point. When we get in there to fill our water bottles up for the first time, we hit it. It's boiling hot water that's coming out of the spigots.
This low-key sound like Firefest a little bit.
Like, and again, I ain't trying to be dramatic. You already know, and I can rough it. Like, so it's like, I'll be whatever. Hey, look, I'm just trying to go see the acts. Yeah, and it gets hot. But like, I'm just trying to go. But like, y'all know this was Auntie Chella. And y'all had no business having all these black people out there in this heat like that. And oddly enough, when you look at the recaps, it almost seems like black people weren't there. But that's another story for a different day. I'll say that. But I am Still processing it, I'll be real honest. But everybody had an account of it. And at this point, yeah, we need refunds, man. It was a hell of a day already.
Right.
We had only had like no sun for maybe 90 minutes up into the point of the crowd surge, 2 hours maybe. But we had been out there already for 8.
Exactly.
Like, dog, it was like crazy shit, man. Heard Sunday was a lot better. Yeah, heard Usher's set was just stupid. That like they're like there has to be a tour. It's about to be a tour. There just has to be a tour because it was so good, and I hope so. Yeah, Lauren I heard was amazing. So I'm thinking of the acts I didn't see. Mario was got what headline that night, but I don't think he did. I don't know. I don't know how it all shook up because
Yeah.
and there was all these last minute reschedules, people that were late, people that were no shows, and the sound was really shitty at the main stage a lot of the day. The sound fuck ups, like there was so many sound fuck ups, and poor artists didn't know. Like the way y'all got planning these festivals now is really flawed, man. Because now the way you're trying to do stage switches, the artists will keep performing, and then their sound gets cut, so they keep going because they can hear themselves through the monitor, but no one can hear them. So Lloyd is performing, and then like his song just gets cut off, and he's like still performing, trying to figure out what's going on.
Wow.
Gear is overheating, so rappers having to do their shit a cappella. Like it's just like I'm y'all. I go to festivals a lot. You already know. So yeah, this gets about a 5 or a 6 for me on the scale, and that's not because of the acts. That's just because of the planning. Because I can
That'll
point to
do it.
some fire acts that did amazing, and I think there
Yeah.
was acts that wanted to do even more that weren't afforded it because of the experience and because of the planning.
Right. Yeah. I think the planning is way bigger and way more important than the acts. The acts sell the festivals, but the planning is what makes it. Like bad planning can ruin a festival so quickly. I mean, we saw this years ago with Soquarius, and then we saw like the reverse of it when we went to
Smoking Grooves.
Smoking Grooves. Thank you. I just
Mhm.
forgot that fast.
Yeah.
At Smoking Grooves, yeah, we saw the
Yeah.
reverse of that and how good that festival was.
Yeah.
So yeah, planning is everything, man. Planning
It's
is
it's
everything.
it's everything. And
Yeah.
that's what's wild, I think, within the festival, uh, circuit, this is an advent of that festival. So I think this was
Mhm.
their attempt to get it right.
Yeah.
Smoking Grooves and Lovers and Friends are children of the attempt of Soulquarius
Right.
per
Gotcha.
promoting groups, you know?
Gotcha.
So you
Yeah.
wanna see them get this right.
Right. But well, I'm glad that y'all are good though.
Yeah,
You and all
man.
the homies, and
I'm really
thankfully
glad that
wasn't
we're
any
good.
people
Yeah.
injured, killed, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
And we still wanna know what
definitely need some
happened, y'all.
refunds. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, like they still won't say what's going on. Um, as far as again, just chalking up to a false alarm security incident, and I feel like
Crazy. That's not enough.
I don't know. At
Yeah.
least tell us, like, yeah, it was a speaker pop and niggas freaked
Hmm.
out. Just tell us. Just at least say that.
Exactly. Yeah.
At least say that.
But you
Or if
know,
it's not, like,
you got to try to cover bad press with silence. That's how it always is.
it's wild, man.
Yeah.
I mean, oddly enough, we got to switch gears. To a topic of just more trauma.
Sadly.
You mentioned
Yeah.
there was another story you wanted to talk about today on the rundown, and I was just like, I think by the time we talk about everything, I don't have the bandwidth in me.
And that's fair.
Cool. Um, hell, and I don't know. Did you know that there was also there was a few other mass shootings or shootings in
A few other.
America this weekend? Not just what we're about to talk about with the Buffalo shooting too.
I think I knew about one more, but I can't remember. Sadly, I can't
There was
remember
also a
where it's
shooting
at.
here in LA at Grand Central. Somebody
Um,
what was shot at the market. There was another one. Three Korean women were involved. I don't know exactly where, and I don't know the exact details of it. And then again, I'm trying to back away, and I'm trying not to see too much this weekend, naturally, because I'm
yeah.
experiencing a festival. And then also, I just, as much as I want to stay connected to the news cycle, you also got to self preserve,
Oh yeah.
practice some self kindness, and you got to,
Hmm.
disassociate. But no, there was another shooting, and I don't think I'm bullshitting, but nonetheless, we're talking
No,
strictly
I
about
think you're right. I
Buffalo.
just can't remember
Yeah,
where it was at because this one kind of took the headlines.
it took the headlines, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're talking specifically about what happened at a Buffalo grocery store. By this time, you already know. 18-year-old white man. I don't have his name.
We
I
don't
don't
need it.
care. I don't care to at this point. Had a manifesto. Went in there with an intent. pled not guilty by this time. Like again, I'm just gonna give you all the Reader's Digest version because it's like here's what I've gathered, here's what I've already read up on. But by the time you're listening to this, you already know what the fuck happened.
Racially motivated shooting. 11 of the victim, 11 of the 13, I think, were black. 10 of them were
Yes.
killed.
Yes. Right.
Sickening.
There's too many, colored folk in America. What did Manifesto say? It was white birth rates are dropping.
Oh wow! I saw something that he went up to or had a gun pointed at a guy, and then realized he was white, and then was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," to the guy.
I don't know. It's what is there to say about it that hasn't already been said? It's the same shit, man. It's the same shit, different day. You can take it as here's another reason why gun violence needs to be curbed and we don't need automatic weapons out, period. We can take that angle. We can take the angle that naturally I feel like y'all always hear me take, and that white supremacy and white domestic terrorism is the biggest terror
Threat
to
yeah.
America
Mm-hmm.
and to democracy. White men. Sorry, and if you're listening and you're taking offense, then clearly there's something about you that you feel resolved because
That needs to be revealed.
That needs to be reviewed. What offends you reveals you, because naturally, if you're white and you're listening to this and you're not offended, naturally because that you know that you're not a fucking head ass.
Yeah.
So what has to be said here, man?
Yeah.
What has to be said here?
I think this is
the mental health card can get played, all that.
Yeah, it's just I can't stand that either. If you had the mental capacity to create this, what was it, 100 and something page manifesto, and go in there and shoot all these people of a specific race, there shouldn't be no mental health thing. He shouldn't be under no suicide watch, nothing like that. He's got the proper mental stability to do all of that, but now we want to put him under suicide watch and see if he needs to go into a mental institution instead of going to jail and none of that. No, that's not gonna roll for me.
It's the same shit.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. But this is why we keep talking about it. That's why we keep talking about white supremacy, and if it gets old to people, who cares? This is why we keep talking about it, because like you said, this is the greatest threat to society today is white supremacy and white nationalism. So it's very, very sad, man. I mean, prayers out to all of the families who are affected by this. I haven't even been able to watch like the clips on social and the videos and the articles and all that stuff. It's just too traumatic for me. But unfortunately, it's just more black loss, sadly. But
yeah, more black trauma. It's yeah, no. I mean, forgive me, man. If again, it's a lot of trauma to consume for one weekend for me. I don't have the words. I don't know what can't already be said about what's afforded to white men and what's not afforded to black people.
Yeah. I got a question for you though, before we wrap this first segment up. Because I don't know if we've ever talked about this actually. I don't know how you feel about the death penalty. And I know we talked about this a few weeks ago off air about a story where somebody had to choose between a new form of the death penalty, I think it was like firing squad or something like that. So they're implementing new things. So I don't know how you feel about the death penalty, but what do you think this guy deserves, or people who are involved in these mass shootings? Like, what's the because there's no, I mean, we've talked about this before, there's no real justice after losing a loved one, you know what I mean? But what do you think is the right, I guess, punishment? Is it the death penalty? Is it life in prison? Is it a mental institution? Like, what do you think that looks like?
I don't know if I don't know if I have an answer for you today on that.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't. I don't. Because I love to know your thoughts. I just because to
Yeah,
your go ahead. Yeah, please.
No, you got it.
I to your point, where is there justice when black people are slain? Where is there justice on stolen land? Justice for me, it's like you killing one white man because he killed a bunch of black folk is not justice, because you know what I'm saying. So implementing the death penalty, I don't think that's not going to stop crazy white domestic terrorists. You feel
Yeah.
That ain't gonna scare you. It ain't enough. Like you can literally grab. We gonna talk about the last episode of Atlanta real soon.
Mhm.
Look again, like
Yeah.
white men can step up to the police, dog.
Right.
So the death penalty. I think so. Maybe my thoughts. The death penalty wouldn't put fear in nobody.
Yeah.
But still, but they still sentencing black folk to death. Like so, yeah, it's complicated, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very complicated, like you said.
Mhm.
It's just very complex because I feel like I think it's excuse me, I think it's human nature at times when you're angry to say, "Oh yeah, give him the death penalty, give him the death penalty." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But when you actually sit back and process it, like you just said, like that's really not going to create. There's no such thing as justice, but that's not the right kind of even accountability, maybe even for this. Like, what's going to create the change? Is that something where all of the families affected could get more equity somehow? Is that something where I don't even know what that looks
Yeah,
like? You know
like
what I
exact
mean?
like
But
mm,
but it's just
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. I feel the
yeah.
anger in me sometimes is like, yeah, just give that fool the death penalty. But
But then,
then
like,
I
is
don't
that gonna do it?
exactly. Is that going to
Is
really?
is that gonna?
Because
Oh,
maybe that's what he wanted
yeah,
to look
yeah.
like he dying as a martyr. So I don't know.
Fam.
I
These
don't know.
niggas don't care.
Yeah, bro.
Death
Yeah,
don't
that's tough.
scare. Oof,
Yeah.
oof. Sorry. This could get so deep, and that's why I don't. I almost.
Yeah.
Ooh. Death don't scare enough motherfuckers. That's all I'm gonna say.
True. Sad but true.
Death ain't the scariest thing that niggas gotta face
Yeah.
in life,
Yeah.
white or black. I was gonna say white men ain't
Yeah, I was
scared of
about to say,
death,
but
but
white or black, yeah.
but white or black, like you know what I'm saying. Like right when I was
Mhm.
gonna say white man, I was like, no, this is just a man thing, woman thing too, maybe. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
like man,
Mhm.
human. Don't
Yeah.
humans fear snakes before they fear dying. They just like, oh, if I'll get fucked up, go drive a car drunk. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't give it my life about
True.
nobody's life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Death clearly anything that's scary, but you can get a snake bite and like but snakes. Like I don't know. Whew, there's a lot more. This save. Look, we gonna keep this save energy, y'all. Quick break. Edit for the Gems podcast everywhere. I just want to thank y'all for enduring the conversation, everybody. Just want to clear the area. Quick moment of a breath. Breathe with me, Hale. Breathe right here. Quick break. We're gonna bring it back. More Unfiltered Gems. More Unfiltered Gems when we get back. But yo, I need y'all to pull up to the next Capacity party. Capacity presents Groove Theory. It goes down May 19th at the Melody Lounge. Of course, myself, Malcolm Alexander. I'll be DJing, emceeing, and I'm going to be rocking with my brother, DJ Throwback. So, of course, for all the disco, house, funk, and R&B hits, I need y'all to pull up on capacitydanceparty.com to RCB and to get more info. And we'll see y'all out on the dance floor. The Unfiltered Gems podcast. Hello, world. My name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I'm Ryan Hale. If you are watching on YouTube, as you should be sure to hit that subscribe button up top, as well as the bell for post notifications, wherever it's at. Right, top, center, left. You know where it's at. Find it and hit it.
Find that shit and hit it. Please. Golly.
Oh, man.
Well, y'all, it's been what, 4 days, 5 days? It's been days. It's been hours. We've had time to sit with it. We've had time to consume it, to digest it. Even going out and experiencing a music festival in which I almost died at, I still had the time to consume Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick Lamar's latest double album. We appreciate it. We done told y'all. We've been waiting for it. We wanted it. Okay, now we just gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna be here to like, let's rate it, let's talk about it, because I still think it's like, I love when people got all the takes of like, it's everything and it's all these things, and it's just like, fam, like the album just came out.
Yeah, I know it's too soon now.
It's still too soon. I ain't gonna sit there ranking
but
it.
we can do an early rating.
Okay, if you want to,
just an early rating.
All right, an early rating. Okay, we'll early rate it. Look,
I think it's too soon. I think it's because I heard somebody say, "Oh, it's not his best album, but it's still."
Oh,
good.
calm down.
I think it's too soon to do all that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing all that. But we can give it a little pre-rating.
Yeah.
Rating.
Things need time, man. This is exactly to my point that I made last week, and it had some of y'all, divisive on the in my comments, and I appreciate you in the comments. Oh, well, you always appreciate it. This right here, this is that legacy shit I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all legacy music Like, I hope y'all can't say this is the best of the worst yet, because this needs time.
Yeah.
This that
You gotta let
prophecy.
this. You gotta let this age
You got
like
to
a
let this
fine wine.
breathe, baby. Let this
Yeah.
shit breathe. Listen to what
Hmm.
this is dad. This is his dad album.
Yeah.
This is the I done been around the world a few times and on the last time on a slow mule ass shit right here. This is sit down. Sit down, y'all. And let me tell
Yeah.
y'all a story.
Yeah. He talked
This is
about
that.
some real
This
stuff.
is that. This is that. We wanted black masculinity. We wanted vulnerability. We
Hmm.
wanted growth. We wanted character growth. We wanted him to take his time and say something. And he acknowledged everything.
Like only he can.
I I wasn't expecting it, but I didn't have expectations, good or bad. I just knew it's King Kendrick.
Yep. Kung
I
Fu
will
Kenny.
I will say I got what I wanted and more from
Oh,
this
100
album.
percent. 100%.
Hell, your
And I,
thoughts?
like you said, to your point, I didn't even have any expectations. Yeah, I didn't even have any expectations, bro. I just knew that it was Kendrick, and since I started listening to Kendrick's music, I've never been disappointed.
Ever.
Um, so I didn't even. I will say this: I didn't have any expectations for the album or the characters that we would see or
Mhm,
the feel, but
mhm.
I did expect to not be disappointed. I can say that I did expect
Sure,
that.
sure, sure.
So I did
Yeah,
expect that. But
yeah.
I didn't have any expectation for the sound or the feel or anything like
Mhm.
that because even though he dropped the heart, I know every time he drops the heart, it's not like a preview of what the album is going to be. It's kind of like
It's
a
just
freestyle,
there.
for him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't really put those two and two together, nor should I
Mhm,
have.
mhm.
And I think that was wise because, like you said, man, he gave us something special. It was just like not only beats and bars, but it was packaged with like love and vulnerability and wisdom and
Mhm, mhm,
discernment and
mhm, mhm.
pace and the it's something special about when a rapper really takes his time. Like you said, it's
Yeah,
like cooking a good meal.
yeah,
Like you got to really take your time in order to see the proper
yeah,
effect and the proper fruit come from that, if
yeah.
you know what I mean. So
And a lot of y'all know I don't like long albums, let alone a double album. It's very
yeah,
hard,
you don't.
especially
Yeah,
in
yeah.
hip hop, to make a double album to keep people's
Uh-huh.
attention. I, I wanted more at the end. Like, I mean, I didn't. Like, I was fed. Let me not say because I'm not greedy. A lot of y'all
Right.
greedy, man. Y'all greedy. It's never enough. Drake give y'all a new album every 6 months, and y'all like it more. I'm like,
He don't
chill,
give you no. Come on now.
chill, pop star ass. Look,
All right.
but by the end of it, man, I was so fed and I wasn't winded, even though it was a lot. And I know we were just talking about, some like traumatic shit in the first segment of the show, but I also got to talk about it, man. This album, this isn't one of those put it on, let's put it on at the cookout, or let's put it on for a good time. This is one of those albums that you got to be in the right mindset too to consume it and to hear it properly.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Some people were asking me, they're like, "Oh, I'm doing this weekend. Is it a good time to listen?" And I said, "No, actually." I said it's not. Like, it's good
Uh,
music. Don't get me wrong. It's
uh-huh.
phenomenal music.
But you gotta really take your time and listen. It's because it's something in every song, and like it's
Yeah.
so easy to miss. I'm not even gonna sit up here like I've been able to properly consume it like I should have. Like
So I was gonna say, like,
I
standout
still need to
tracks for
listen.
you.
Oh,
Standout
I've got
tracks for
them
you. So yeah.
right away. Oh, believe me, I got them. I done listened a good 5 to 10 times, so I
Oh
got them.
yeah.
But
Same, man. I've been in it. I've been in it.
say for me, standout tracks. I really really love Savior. That's one of my favorites right now. I love Die Hard. Got to shout out Blast.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a big Blast
He
fan.
skated on that. I
Yeah, he
like
did.
that's definitely the single. And I was like, Die
Yeah, it
Hard is
has to be.
incredible.
It
That's
has
an
to be.
incredible record. But
That is
even
an
then I'm
incredible one.
listening to it. I'm like, that's his God, I hate to I don't want to make the comparison. So I'm not comparing the music, but I think it's like that's his Black Eyed Peas, Where Is the Love? Like, it's all about
Mm.
this, like, hear me,
Yeah,
I'm confronting my demons. It's about
yeah,
love. It's about it's letting God in. Like, I'll die
right.
for this shit. Like it's literally that. Like, I've never heard a pop record that is so like introspective and
Facts.
like, you know, but like I can hear this on a Kiss FM, I can hear it on a hip hop station, I can
Yeah,
hear it anywhere, but think
that's
about what
true.
it's going to be sandwiched around. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You got just some poppy shit, then you got some misogynistic shit, and then right here in the middle, the beat is infectious as hell, and just
It
talking about,
is.
baby,
I'm
I'm too late
feeling
to set my
today.
demon straight. Like I'm like, golly, and like
Wait,
Kendrick's
bro.
bars on it. I'm like, nigga, this
I
is so
know.
deep. Like,
Yeah, bro.
fuck.
It's fire, bro.
More standout tracks.
Um,
More standout tracks.
Rich Spirit.
Rich Spirit is my shit. That is
Yeah,
my
I love, bro. I
shit.
love that song.
That is
Uh,
that. Oh, that's my shit. God damn, that's my.
Okay, Alex, you know, but I'm fasted.
Oh my god,
Man, I love that song.
you don't understand. You don't. You
Purple
like
Hearts.
Purple Hearts. I was gonna say if Purple Hearts don't set you right,
Yeah,
I
bro.
like Purple Hearts is everything.
Purple Hearts is fire. Count Me Out.
Ghostface's verse made me cry. I ain't gonna hold
Really?
you. Ghostface's verse made me like dog. The first time I heard that shit, I legit.
You so emotional.
Bro, I am. Nigga, that shit is fucking beautiful.
It is though. I can't lie.
That record, like,
It is.
I don't know how you can be consumed by
No,
that.
it's a great record. It's
The
a great record.
vulnerability expressed by a black man who has reached
Yeah.
the level of success and has the experience that he has, and for the one of the best rappers right now to ask of all people.
Yeah.
Kendrick could get anybody on a track if he wanted to. It's like if Kendrick calls, it's like who wouldn't pull up? Celine Dion would pull up, like, sure, whatever you need, Kendrick. Like, what the fuck? Like, dude, Kendrick could work with whoever the fuck he wanted to right now. And I'm not saying like Ghostface is a throwaway. Ghostface is easily one of the dopest lyricists that we've had in hip hop. I'm not even going here to debate that. I love Ghostface, but what as a black that verse, if that shit didn't fucking move you,
Yeah.
you ain't got no soul, dog.
That's true. That's true. Bro, the song we got to talk about though, because there's a bunch more standout. Like I love "Count Me Out." I love "Crown."
I was gonna say
Silent Hill.
Count Me Out is that's my Father Time.
Oh man, I love Father Time too.
Oh, Worldwide Steppers.
Worldwide Steppers is fire.
Great.
In '95 is fire too.
We Cry Together.
Bro, that's what I was about to say. We got to talk about "We Cry Together."
Loved it. Jesus.
That's the song. Now that's the song that I listen to, but sometimes I skip because it's just a little too much for me. Sometimes I got ooh.
It was so funny because so the first time I listened to the album, I was with Ty. Actually,
Okay.
shout out to Ty. So I was back in Corona, and so I was like, yo, what you doing? Like, listen to the new Kendrick album. And her brother comes in and sees us as we're working through the album. We hadn't hit "We Cry Together" yet. And he just texts us after he left. He goes, hey, make sure to turn it down a little bit. Just like listen a little bit like closer to the speaker when
Yeah.
he said when that song comes on. And I was like, huh. And then I heard it. I was like, okay. All right.
Thank you for the heads up.
Noted. Noted. It's a doozy. That was a doozy.
Dude,
but that's a
song
doozy
is
along with
something.
Auntie Diaries. Like, it's
wow. Auntie Diaries is wild.
Fam.
But "We Cry Together," before we go to Auntie Diaries, sorry.
Yeah,
Do you know that "We
go ahead.
Cry Together" has a real actress in it, Taylor Page?
Yes.
She's like
she was in
legit
Zola.
actress. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
That's just wild, bro. It's like,
Crazy.
I'm like, how does he come up with this stuff, man?
Because he's a black nerd, dog. I tried to tell you, he's a little theater kid. Like Kendrick is a nerd, man. Like he is not like these regular niggas. He's not. I don't know how else to like articulate it. Forgive me if sounding crass. I just like he's not cut from the same cloth. He's not human. He doesn't think he doesn't think in hip hop. He thinks in art, man. He's like, let me get an actress up on here.
Literally.
And I love Taylor Page. Taylor Page is so like she's
special.
Too. She's special. Like I great actress. And so it's like what I think I didn't even know what to expect when it came on because I was like, I thought it was just an artist. I was like, because artists be doubling up names. I've seen an actress and an artist or an actor and an artist be the same name, and so you're like, oh, which one, So I wasn't sure what to expect, but incredible dialogue.
It was so dope.
On lack of accountability.
It was so dope.
Incredible dialogue, and it needed that, right? What do we say? Like radical language creates radical change, and it's like I love that it starts out with with this is what the world sounds like. So automatically it puts you in that this is where we're going with this.
And it ends by saying, "Don't tap around the conversation."
Yep, don't tap dance around the conversation.
Yeah.
And then takes you right into Purple Hearts, which
Yeah.
again, I think that's why, like, by the time I finish that shit up, like, look, when I say I cry, dog, don't be. I'm not sitting here like, "Grr!" I'm just saying, but dog, like I well up. You know what I'm saying? I can feel
No,
emotion. I
I
don't, and
feel you, bro.
I don't shy away from when I'm feeling emotion. Like
No, I got you.
I'm okay with that because it's like that's a testament of how good it is. You know what
That's
I'm
I was gonna
saying?
say that's real art.
That's real art.
Makes you feel the different emotions.
It should make you
Yeah.
feel something, and so it's like you took
Mhm.
me on that roller coaster, especially from Rich Spirit too, like which I loved. And it's like you take me in a we cry together. Now stop tap dance around the conversation, and then it's like, all right, let God in. Shut the fuck up when you hear love talking. He said, if God is the source, then I am the plug walking. Don't mind me while I take it to church, because that shit was like, by the time I get there and Ghostface opened, like Ghostface just came in there. Oh, I just, yeah, man, I welled up. That song is fucking special. Summer skated too. Summer skated. Shout out to Summer
Yeah,
Walker.
she did.
She skated
She
on
did.
that shit.
She skated.
Yeah. You said,
Auntie
why my
Diaries,
nigga
like we
always
talked
wondering
about,
if
is
I'm on the
fire.
pole? I was like, yo, she go keep setting these shots at London for her whole
Yeah.
career. She's gonna profit off of that
Uh-huh.
relationship her whole career. And I ain't mad. They got a baby, so
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it.
It was fire, bro. Mr. Morale was even good. I
Mr.
feel like
Morale,
he
okay,
talked about generational curses. It's just he.
dog. But those Pharrell drums are always gonna do it right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can't go wrong with Pharrell drums. You can't go wrong with Pharrell drums.
And I
All
heard
right,
it
bro.
immediately because I be running through liner
Yeah.
notes when I be listening. But
Yeah.
that I heard that 4 count. I said, "Yep, Pharrell, Miss Morale." And I look at the credits. I said, "100%." But that shit is like that's a dance. Capacity might see some of that shit. That's a dance record too.
Oh, it
I
is.
dig it.
Shit's
I
fire.
dig that shit, man. We got to talk Auntie Diaries real quick. Auntie
Oh yeah.
Diaries
Go ahead.
is the point of contingence on the album for a lot of people.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's what's been the
I've
talk
seen.
on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, I see people feeling very divided on that song. He uses a word that a lot of people do not use. It's easier to get this word canceled than it was the N word.
Oh,
We can
oh,
put it
oh,
this way.
oh, 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 oh. Sorry.
Mm,
Yes, I know
mm,
exactly what you're talking
mm.
about. But
When I
but
say that, it's like, oh,
no, no, no. Because I'm trying to think. I was thinking about the
mm,
song, and I'm like, what word are you talking about?
mm.
Because to me, I don't. I think that he wasn't using the word as an. If you
No.
listen to the song, it
Well,
wasn't.
of
He
course
wasn't
not.
using the word as
Yeah,
offensive. He was
no. He
just
wasn't. Well, in the
telling
same
the
way that
story and explaining. Right. Go
when
ahead.
we cry together, he clearly wasn't calling like he clearly
Right.
doesn't think his baby mama's a bitch, right? As
Right.
even though it's like
Right.
you can, I don't know, the B word counter was going.
Yeah. Uh huh.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, by
You
the end of that, I
lost count.
said, lost count. Quite frankly, I said it was a good 300 and some odd bitches
Yeah.
used in
Yeah.
that song.
Mhm.
So no, there was an artistic execution and point behind the word use, and so I didn't find myself triggered on first experience, but naturally, that word make that I maybe I don't feel a certain thing about that word that other than how other people do. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Uh, ex- I'm with you. I'm saying to this, we agree in that it's a
No,
word.
no,
He
no.
was using it artistically.
I was just gonna say, like, I get you that that word obviously is not gonna trigger us like it may trigger somebody else. No, I
Mhm.
understand that.
Yeah.
I accept that. I'm saying, I guess my problem, or not problem, I guess my question would be like, he didn't use that word to your point. He didn't use that word like he used in the B word and We Cry Together. You get
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
It was not the same. Like he used it
Yeah.
sparingly, but he used it in describing the reason
Sure.
why he does
Sure.
not use it now. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess that's my question since I didn't see the division is like,
Yeah.
why are people divided? Because he's literally explaining the reason for people not to use that word, like how you
There.
get what I'm saying?
Yes. I completely
I guess that's my
understand.
confusion. That's my
Yeah.
confusion.
No, I understand. But people were mad because they said that he could have articulated the point in a different way. And I'm like, also, hey, an artist is going to articulate themselves in
No,
whatever way they
I
so
got you.
choose. And I'm
That's
like,
why it makes me.
you got to
I
understand.
just get sick of those. I get
Yeah.
sick of people like
There
that.
was no malintent, but there was something. But then, so to your point, because I said I wanted to bring this up to get into one small thing
Yeah.
before we move on.
Mhm.
They announced the tour.
Mhm.
We were dissecting black trauma in the first segment here. We talked about how this album, confronts black trauma, confronts a lot of things. Where this album it's not a pop album. You know what I'm saying?
No.
This ain't for Kiss FM. Okay, the shit is barely for just putting it on. Let's turn up. Though it does got some turn up shit. Like I'll easily put this on when the homie's over and we'll probably turn up. But this is
But can I say that this is more so? Go with me here.
Mhm.
This is more so because you talk about the tour. I don't think this is more so of a regular tour or regular album, but it kind of puts me in a mindset of what you may see if you go to a Broadway play. Like it's that type of art. Like you're not gonna get a regular. We're not just gonna sit and stand up and jump around for an hour and 30 minutes. Like this is you're gonna go through some stages of emotions and stuff like that. But go ahead.
Yeah. But I mentioned that only to say I saw someone who had an issue with we're talking about the F word, FAGGAT, you know what I'm saying? It's just not even a word. I don't use the word. No, it was never really a big fan of the word. So it's that's why I'm gonna spell it out. I know some people are like, well, you treat that word differently than how you say nigga. Look, it's not my word. It's not for me to say. Okay. I understood the artistic execution and how he used it here. It was poignant. I had no issue with it. The issues that I'm seeing with other people is that they were saying that it could have been used in a different way, even though again there was no malintent. He was showing growth. It was even beyond a character. But what made me see it, he goes, and the person that said this is a queer person.
Oh, of course, but
a black queer person at that.
Okay, I assumed that. I assumed as much.
Okay, this is just discourse because I'm seeing people underneath. This is on Twitter. I don't know this person, but but I'm gathering it all. Is that he said, well, he goes, I see it. I'm going to skip the song, and I'm definitely going to skip the tour because there's no reason for me to subject myself to hearing that word yelled out by fans in an arena. And it had me thinking. So hold on.
No, yeah, go ahead. I was going to let you finish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Thank you, Kanye. Ryan West. Thank you so much. It had me thinking though, because it's subjective, the feeling offense of that word and how divided we are on that word. And of course, we are on a little bit more of a similar wavelength as far as that word and how to be offended or how to consume that song in particular. But when it comes to consuming the album and the topic and the subject matter of the album, it had me really pondering. I don't want to experience this tour around non-black people. And is there a point at which I want a blacks only experience with this Kendrick Lamar album?
Oh, I'm so glad we're about to get into Atlanta after this. This is exactly what it sounds like. I honestly, man, I don't know. To each his own. I haven't even thought about that.
It confronts because my mind would hear when I saw this person I don't want to hear this word in particular on the tour, and I'm like, I don't even want to hear y'all non-niggas singing fucking "We Cry Together." This is placating black trauma, black relationship dynamics, generational trauma between black men and black women, Purple Hearts, Rich Spirit, even N95. The subject matter that's confronted is these are, what did Solange say? These are black-owned things. Nigga, this is FUBU. This is for us, by us. This ain't for y'all. And there comes a point that I'm like, can I just experience this without y'all? Just this album. Y'all can even have Butterfly and even though that's a very black album, just fine. But can this be y'all can't come to this one?
I don't even know what to say to that. I've never thought about that. Honestly, I've never thought about that. I mean, there's so many rap tours, or why did I say rap tours? Rap concerts that I've been to where obviously you hear the N-word throughout. And I can't lie and say that I'm not looking at a white person to see if he's saying that word, because I have been there and
I am. Somebody. Yeah, nigga, I'm a DJ. I put the shit on and I watch him. I see you do it. I see.
Oh, you see him do it. Nigga, I've never seen. I'm
trying to back away because I don't want to look. I don't look. Let me. I put it on, okay, and I'm talking because I'm not talking to white folk, dog. Because I see the Asians. I see y'all do it. I don't care where y'all grew up. I see the Latinos. I don't care where y'all grew up. I see the Samoans. I don't care where y'all grow up. And then I see the white folks. I don't care where y'all grow up.
Yeah. But I think for me, I think it goes back to, because to your point,
Can we just have
this
this?
album
Can we have this one thing?
this album confronts a lot of black issues like we talked about. But I think for me, going back to what I said about the Broadway play, there's a lot of Broadway plays that people would say are created with a certain race or gender or whatever in mind, but they put it out for the world to see because the artist feels like there's an importance for everybody to see and experience this. So unless I hear from Kendrick saying this is a tour that only black people are really going to be able to enjoy and experience, then I can't say I can't hop on here and say I just want to see it with black people. I can't say that. I do feel like black people will be able to relate with
He
it
said
more. Yeah,
only unless Kendrick can say it. I'm just like, no, hell, you need to
bro.
be at the
I'm
door. And if you
saying,
see people that are not black, you got to be like, nah, man,
no,
let me
I'm not
walk
doing
in
that.
first.
Not doing that. Not doing that. I just feel like Kendrick is such a, like you said it earlier, he's such a nerd, but he's so smart. Like I feel like he put this album out for a reason. You get what I'm saying? To the
Yeah,
masses.
well, sure. It's
So,
art,
and
man.
I don't think it was to create black trauma porn, if you will, like we see in some of these other shows and movies that just really talk about black trauma. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was more so to not celebrate it, but celebrate some of the successes. Like I said, celebrate breaking generational
Well, it was
curses,
celebrating
celebrate growth.
transformation. It
Yeah,
was celebrating the
celebrating
transformation.
transformation.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what this
So
album is. So,
yeah,
yeah.
so for me, it's more about, yeah, to your point. I guess that's right there. I guess it sums it up. For me, it's more about black transformation than black trauma.
Yes, in the
Oh,
black
wow, that's
transformation,
beautiful.
in
That's
the black
beautiful how we just
transformation
put that all
is.
together there.
Wow, we should do a podcast. Holy shit.
No,
But
that's true though.
I think to that point that's why there's like, because I see it, man. I'm at shows all the time. I understand why No Name doesn't like rapping anymore because she's tired of seeing only white fans at her shows. And I consider who consumes and I was even having a deeper conversation with Marcus this morning
Hmm.
about radio and about DJs and DJs that we see in certain spaces, like the in-between DJs for the festival were like the selection DJs. Love selection. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to the whole team. Right? I consider like radio, even in Arizona. Fam, I know y'all radio out in Arizona, as you know, because I've worked in that
Yeah.
demographic. And then out here, and I consider like the demographic of radio hosts that are for the hip hop stations.
Hmm.
And again, I'm not mad at the radio hosts that are getting their money. And it's also just a money thing as far as opportunities, but it's like, why are the main consumers and main proponents of hip hop culture, when you look via the radio or you look via the zeitgeist of who can show up to tours, who can afford tours, who can we have all this art. Kendrick creates this entire masterpiece, and I feel like we're going to walk into the gallery and I'm going to be looking at people that don't even look like me. And I think even if it's me
No. Well,
celebrating
I mean,
black
obviously.
transformation, obviously, right? And it's like, even if I'm celebrating black transformation, it's a beautiful thing in blackness that I want to be able to experience with my people. And I want more people to be here for it. And I feel like it's just more art on display for other people to look at, but not be able to even relate to. And I think
Hmm.
it's just hard for me because I want a deeper, to Kendrick's point on this whole album. It's like, I want to see more community transform within black culture. And this album encapsulates it. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. I just really be thinking sometimes when it comes to even who's the vanguard for hip hop, who owns it, who's there, who when you turn on your radios in the morning, like on one station, Kendrick. This is L.A. radio, one radio station. They're doing Kendrick 106, so you already know who
Hmm.
I'm talking about. But in their morning show host is a non-black radio program. I love the host, by the way. Shout out to Letty and Teddy. I love them. So this commentary is not, it's not derogatory or it's not attacking the non-blacks here. That's not what I'm saying. You're in this space and get your money. I don't want you to leave the space. But then you're celebrating Kendrick's album, and on the other station, where there is one main, probably the biggest LA hip hop radio host. Hell, you should probably already know who I'm talking about. I mean, if you big boy.
Hmm.
Guess who their guest was that morning? By the way, they're playing no Kendrick. 106 is playing Kendrick from the Kendrick Lamar LP all the way up. Every song is a Kendrick Lamar song, and then they're playing songs from the album. And Letty is is giving commentary. She's dissecting the lyrics. We're consumers on the radio. And you already know,
Right.
y'all, radio ain't about the music. Radio is about fucking ads, man. How long can it keep listening? Like, it's not about the music. So they didn't have to do that, and they did that. But shout out to LA. That's what we would do when the biggest rapper ever, but our LA rapper drops an album. And I know this is me saying, oh, here's what you should and should not do, but just follow me. So then on the other station, guess who their guest was that day? Mind you, they played maybe one of the songs once in the 4 hours that I was listening to the radio that morning. Guess who their guest was that morning?
Trying to think of somebody who dropped the album.
Jack Harlow.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah. I was about to say. If I would have thought about it for a few more seconds, I probably would have guessed him.
Yeah. Just take a time to help you out.
That's not surprising.
And it's not surprising. But what it is, it's like the people that have the keys here would rather put money in front of celebrating the Black transformation. And that's what we see. And that's why it's like there's not enough of us in our own spaces within the culture that we create, curating it.
Yeah. But I don't think that, and I know that's not what you were saying, but just for anyone listening who may have got confused on what you were saying, I don't think this is not an attack on Kendrick or his art or his album.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
You're just saying we need more people in the spaces creating
and consuming
for us to see what Letty is doing on the radio.
Yes,
and stuff like that.
Yes, because it's a beautiful thing. Like, I'm so glad that hip hop is to be shared and it should be consumed by everybody. And it's like hip hop is just as much belongs to Latino folks as it does to Asian people and to white folk, and like everyone can consume and shake their ass to it. Great, I'm so glad. But at the end of the day, it's like it's also ours. And excuse me if I get sensitive for seeing Black transformation and seeing beautiful art that someone creates and seeing the takes and the people that consume it and the people that are vanguards and curators of it don't even look like me.
Yeah. No, that's tough. That's a good, interesting viewpoint.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a quick break. More on Philly Gems when we get back. Love is in the air, y'all.
Is it though? You'll be the judge as you watch our new 3-episode dating special premiering in February.
I've been shooting my shot in the DMs lately. Losing battle.
We are getting into the good and probably the bad of dating. It's going down exclusively on the Unfiltered Gems podcast YouTube channel.
So learn your lady's way of communicating.
Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Unfiltered Gems, the podcast. What's going on, y'all? My name is Ryan Hale.
And what up? I'm Malcolm Alexander.
If you are watching us on YouTube, as you should be, or actually wherever you're listening, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Yes, we do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for listening. All the way up until episode 31. This is now.
Hello.
So we've been rocking and rolling every week for you guys. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, bell up top for post notifications if you're on YouTube. But also follow us on social media, any platform you want. We are there at Unfiltered Gems Podcast.
Hey, leave us a rating on Spotify too. You can do that. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. If you listen there, leave us a rating. We appreciate it. And now you can leave ratings on Spotify. Do that.
Spotify as well. Yep.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good stuff. So we talked a little bit earlier about Black trauma and all of this stuff, but kind of taking a turn on this most recent episode of Atlanta puts a spin on what for many people was traumatic when it came to not being able to afford college and things of that nature, when it came to student loans and all that good stuff. Shoot, it's traumatic for me. I'm still paying back student loans. So
I understand.
Atlanta, very interesting episode, like only Donald Glover himself can create.
Titled Rich Wigga Poor Wigga. Directed by Donald.
Yeah.
We got to dive in,
Very
man, because
interesting
this episode really. There's a part of me that feels like this episode got a lot of things right, and there's a lot of part of me that feels like it got a lot of things wrong.
Okay.
As far as the commentary, where the episode before this was that the cancel with Liam Neeson, Dog, where I was like, shit was brilliant.
I forgot about that. That one was really good.
That was really good. And with him confronting his mom, like the ghost of his mom in a weird way, and like that shit was wow. This shit was wow too. This shit was wow too.
Just evolved in a different way.
Confronting what really defines blackness, what is white passing versus black passing, what really is black, and maybe not in the African descendant of a slave term, but I don't know, what are ways that you can mix Hennessy? Give me 6 of them, in that kind of way, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 songs you can choose between, Frankie Beverly and Maze's Before I Let Go and Cameo's Candy. Which one do you play first?
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, well, hey, depending on how you answer, that's how black you are. Okay, I'm just saying. It's okay.
I don't even know how I would do those.
It's blackness of it's On My Own, Patti LaBelle, or If Only You Knew, Patti LaBelle. It's callback. It's callback to last episode. Just go listen. Hell, you don't have to answer. I'd rather you don't answer.
Patty, I love you, Patty.
I'd rather you not answer. Actually, hell, no. But it really put a lot of things up on Front Street, and the cameo of all cameos. One, we have to shout out George Wallace. It's one of my favorite comedians. I fuck with George Wallace, and he was next to Kevin Samuels on stage. Again, black ass comic. Only if you are black would you know who George Wallace is.
He is so hilarious.
You know George Wallace, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad, bro.
George Wallace was in some old shows that I used to watch all the time. It was a show. What show was that?
Oh man, he was in a
He
few.
was in there frequently.
Yeah, he was in a few, bro. George Wallace is really is such a legend. But so I think people were talking about the cameo that we're about to mention so much more, but I really want to shout out George Wallace.
Right.
But maybe a week or so after his passing, the main cameo comes from none other than controversial self-proclaimed relationship expert and high-value man, Kevin Samuels, who is the benefactor to the high school in which the main character of this episode attends. Basic plot of the episode is that this man is trying to get into college. If you look at him, he appears to be a white kid, but you shortly realize in the episode he is half black because his father is an entire black man. He's
the brilliance of having the whole episode in black and white too. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Look, go ahead and cut me off of that. Great. You see that he lives a pretty white life. Ended up even called some brothers he was playing with the N-word with the hard R. So to maybe sell you see the Post Malone and the Logan Paul posters, right? Driving home, it's like, no, he's definitely got to be white. But then you see his black father very quickly, and you say,
and he kind of identified as white even when his father, because he was like, well, didn't he make the comment like, if I'm not black or something like that, and his dad was like, that nose came from somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Exactly. So immediately you realize in the episode, okay, he's black. He just don't want to be, or might only want to be when it's incredibly convenient, as we find out, right? And that's a lot of people that are white passing across all cultures. It could also be black people as well, even if you cannot pass as white, right? And that's what this episode begs the question. And I think the reason that this season, and people are going to dissect this in all different ways, because people have very political and divided opinions about Donald Glover being the vanguard of who can say these things. I think he can, but you already know I'm biased. And I think that he is creative muse. He is pinnacle. And so that's just me. The main character, Aaron, who later becomes AA Ron. But Aaron in this show is trying to get into college. All his white friends around him are all going to Arizona State College, which literally, I was like, yo, shout out. I was like, the Ruby. I was like, go Devils. I was like, I know this had to be ASU. Like, you want to go to the whitest state. They just didn't want to say Arizona State University. They didn't have the rights. They couldn't probably. They couldn't. Yeah. So, y'all, I was like, it was ASU. I don't think people was talking about that enough. So go Devils. Shout out to that. But all his white friends are getting into ASC, including his very white girlfriend, are all getting into this one school. He's struggling to get in because his dad does not want to do his FAFSA. He had been delaying doing paperwork, delaying the application process, and knows damn well he cannot afford to get into the same school that all his other friends are going to be getting into. You know, black experiences. So there happens to be an assembly happening for graduating seniors. This assembly, we see a very alive Kevin Samuels walked in as the benefactor to this school who previously went there and is paying. He says he's going to pay the tuition of every graduating senior at this high school, through which everyone's going crazy. And Aaron sees his moment.
Can I say it?
Aaron thinks he has his moment until
Kevin Samuels leans in and says, "Who's black?" Oh, best part of the episode.
Dog, I was just as shocked as Aaron. Nigga, I was like, oh, what? Whoa, you can do that? Like, yeah, dog. I was in it. I was in it. I thought it was great.
Oh,
Brilliant.
it was crazy.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. So that had Aaron feeling incredibly conflicted at that moment, where he realizes, hey, I can do this. So he shows up for the assembly later because apparently they were having auditions
for the checks.
To get checks, because he was writing the checks on the spot. Just
show is so stupid.
And he gets there, and immediately, someone walks out and says, like, "Oh, no, like, it's not actual, like, you're born or not black by skin, but just like, are you down? Or are you not down?"
Yeah,
is pretty much what it was asking. And he gets in there, of course, joined by George Wallace. I do not know the other man's name, and Kevin Samuels, who begin asking him a series of questions. You know, like, how you make peach cobbler?
Name 6 things you mix Hennessy with.
Grits, sugar or savory, sweet or savory, asking
exactly.
all these different questions, and the answers, y'all, I'm not gonna spoil it. Y'all gotta really watch the episode, because I'm cracking up at the dialogue and how he's like trying to justify the answers and answer. To which he is told at the end that, he ain't black enough. He's told you're black when it's convenient for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, what do you make of the episode so far? Right, we haven't gotten into the climax and the anger and what forced him, to take a flamethrower to the school. Nigga,
he didn't even get to use it.
He didn't get to use it. He tried, and the flamethrower broke. That little cheap shit. But the Nigerian kid, and again, this is why we say it, but the Nigerian kid was not black enough.
Yep.
The Nigerian kid,
a flamethrower. He just had a real one.
He just had a real flamethrower and was shot by the police. And after that was given a check because, you are black now.
That's the blackest thing you can. Kevin Samuels said the blackest thing you can do is be shot by the police. And then we see the black transformation, if you will.
Oh God.
Of Aaron.
Aaron.
At the end of the episode, we see
he had that wave brush.
Yeah.
Nah.
We see he's not in college. He's working at a Best Buy.
Yep.
And he is spitting game at a black girl.
He said,
he looks completely different. Yep.
He got the wave, dog.
No, he said her booty is stupid.
Oh, he go, her booty is stupid. Turns around at his girl.
His ex-girl.
Yeah, his ex-girl. Like, hey, you looking better. He goes, I ain't never been more attracted to you. I was like, and she turned around with her dumb ass. What?
And then he looks at the camera like, oh man, what an episode.
What an episode. I mean, so again, this really has the devices that Donald uses, right, to communicate what really is blackness and how we play into these stereotypes and how we play into the performance of blackness and what defines it. What are your thoughts on the narrative of this episode?
I actually like the narrative of the episode. I think it posed a lot of questions that many people are not posing. So I'll ask you as well, the one main one that comes to mind for me. But I think this episode was very I think it was genius in my opinion. The way he told it, the storyline, the plot, all of it was genius in my opinion, because even like you said, performative blackness. Like, I went to a predominantly white school growing up. And so I would hear sometimes, oh, you don't talk black, you don't sound black, or you sound white, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, what does that even mean? Like, what is black? You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to really think, what is blackness? And I think he was really trying to pose that question to the audience, and especially people who have the opportunity, like you said, that are either white passing, or even black people who try to pass as white or black when it fits them. But I think this question was also important for black people who may be dealing with performative blackness, or what is their blackness, or what does that look like? You get what I'm saying? So I think it was great. I think it was a great episode. The question that stood out to me though, because I know we talked about this in our dating special that got some people upset when it came to interracial dating. And so my question would be to you is that and I guess this is probably more of a question for a child who grew up in a household like we saw Aaron, in interracial with interracial parents. Because a serious question, not even joking, I really do want to know, like, how tough is it for them to identify as one or the other? What is that thought process like? How do you figure out what you're going to identify as or whatnot? Because from what we saw with Aaron, because we didn't see the whole backstory, but from what we saw from him,
he did not like being black.
Literally, it's like he
did not
clearly identified as a white man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And he's not even graduated high school yet. So it's like, how do they come to that conclusion? I guess.
Well, I want to know how you do that in a black, like, it makes sense because I have, and so I will, and shout out to like the people that have been vulnerable with me, right? I spoke alongside a biracial woman one time. Love her, sweetheart. But she was talking about her identity issues into her adulthood as they pertain to her being biracial because she's black and white, but she was raised by her white mother.
Mm-hmm.
And how she was raised to not like herself and how her mom was racist, right?
Okay.
And so her awakening and her becoming of herself happened at a much later age where she can really identify with the black parts of herself and learn what to and not to love about those things and how to confront it all and how to be that. Right. But there's like a growth spurt.
Yeah.
That you're gonna have to work through depending on how you're raised and who you're raised with, I think, one. And then two, if you're lucky enough to have both parents in the house, then I think it's just gonna be in how blackness is loved or hated in your home. And if you're bred with a certain level of self-hatred. And clearly that had to be Aaron, or excuse me, that was Aaron. I don't know about Aaron. I think Aaron really liked being black. But Aaron didn't like it so much. Despite the fact that his mom is nowhere in the picture, but his father is fully in the picture. So I want to know what it was then.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Very interesting question. I do have an Atlanta question for you, but I'll let you give your thoughts first before I ask that, before we wrap up.
You've heard my thoughts. I love the episode. You heard my thoughts. I go. So go ahead.
Great. Okay. Well, yeah, great episode. For those who watched it, we pretty much told you the whole episode, but still go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But my question to you, or not even a question, is it a question? It's more of a take.
Oh.
And I'll let you respond.
Okay. Thanks for letting me.
After watching this third season of Atlanta, what I realized is that Atlanta does not have an identity, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that I could ever, and not saying that it needs to be compared, but I don't know how I could rank Atlanta among the shows, because we were just talking about this earlier this year, late last year, about where does Insecure rank, where does the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Different World, all of those shows, you get what I'm saying? Where will we rank Atlanta? I guess for me it's hard to rank an Atlanta among those fully black casted shows, because to me it doesn't really have an identity. Like, I think it battles between, sometimes we have in episodes like this one where it's like a more of a Twilight feel, Twilight Zone feel.
It was definitely Twilight homage, yeah.
Exactly. And then we have the episodes where we obviously see the main characters that we followed for 2 seasons in the past. You know what I mean? So I think, to me, and maybe this is what they want, but I think there's an identity crisis with Atlanta that makes it hard to follow at times.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I strongly disagree with your take.
I knew you would.
Get off the podcast.
Donald Glover stan.
Mute your microphone. Don't ever speak to me again. Delete my number. Block me. No.
You stupid. Block me.
No. That has been actually a large criticism that I've heard from not just you for this season. What I would say, and I think this is going to probably quote Donald at this point rather than it even be my own original idea, but I think what they're looking to pose is not exactly a show that is this show that is based in Atlanta, but it's about how Atlanta and the energy and the ideologies of Atlanta, how they manifest through the world, right? The beautiful part about seeing Paperboy in Europe is seeing how this young man from Atlanta, how these young men and Van, right, how
Mhm.
these people from Atlanta are confronting reality in Europe.
Right.
And I
No,
think
I get that part, but
Mhm.
how does the Twilight Zone episodes tie into that?
Yeah,
That same
and all these
idea.
anthology, these
Right.
one-offs. I
Right.
think it's dialogue because I think these are things that can happen anywhere, and
True.
they do happen in
I
Atlanta, but they
agree.
can happen everywhere. And so I think it's more of a one. I think it's Donald wanting to be able to tell incredibly poignant stories within the zeitgeist that no other show does, and I think that's also why I don't even rank the show in. It's not. I'm waiting on him to give me a show like Insecure, like a rom
Me
com
too.
or a just something slapstick. But that's not
That's not
him. Like
Donald.
I know he's going to be doing the Lando show with Justin Simeon, who did Dear White
Uh-huh.
People, the director of that.
Right.
Great. I can't wait to see Donald in space and what kind of quirky
Hmm.
stuff is going to come from that. But Atlanta is so much bigger than a simple drama or a
And
sitcom.
I hear you, and I get that, and I
Mhm.
appreciate that actually because it's different. We don't see a lot of. I can't think
It's
of another show that's like Atlanta, so I can appreciate
he
that.
said he wanted to make like a black Twin Peaks, and that's what it is. And this isn't even Twin Peaks because Twin Peaks was like it doesn't confront cultural
Right.
currency in
Exactly.
a certain kind of way. So it's like
But I guess my
yeah,
thing was like when Atlanta first started, like the first 2 seasons of Atlanta were more of a drama. You get what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Like it was more centered around the characters. Even though all the episodes didn't tie in together, we still saw the characters pretty much in every episode
Yeah,
doing different things that created dialogue. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
I guess that's the only thing that's I've appreciated all the episodes, but the only thing that sometimes throws me off is
yeah.
that they don't tie in all the
Yeah.
time. You get
But
what I'm
here's
saying?
also the thing though. So but to your point, so about the ranking though, but it's like even the one-off episodes, even these anthology episodes are still riveting. They might throw you off,
They are. Oh,
but
they're
they're still
amazing.
riveting. Like
They're amazing.
so can you not say that it's still one of the most well-written television shows? And yes, this is going to be dramatic for a stretch, but of all time, strictly off of just
Oh,
sheer uniqueness in writing alone.
well written, absolutely. The writing is definitely up there with any show that I can think of right off the top of my
Like
dome.
you can't
I'm
even
just
compare a
saying I
Fresh
don't think
Prince to this. Like
no, I can't
it's
because
yeah,
it's two
like
different shows.
it's two different shows.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, and I was saying ranking it when it came to the shows as of late, when it comes to the Insecures, the the all black shows that we've seen. I can't think
Sure.
of a bunch of other
I'll
ones,
go
but
Insecure. I'll go Dear White People. I'll go Shy. I'll go Jesus.
it's
That
Snowfall.
Snowfall.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would put
Snowfall.
Snowfall. As far as like a yeah. There they
Right.
go. That's a few
So
of them.
the writing is amazing, and that might
Mhm.
put it in. And I just think maybe the show is in a category of its own because
Yeah.
I don't think I can compare it to the rest of those shows. Because the rest of those shows, like I know what I'm gonna get every week.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm
And it
saying?
also,
Like,
I think, with that, it also gears you up for disappointment. Think about how much we like picked apart Insecure, and we're able to justify like the good and the bad things about it. Where I think the
yeah,
negativity and the negative press that comes from Atlanta is just, oh, you don't like the subject matter that he confronted, and you don't like, and
right.
you don't like how he did it.
You can't
Still,
talk
you
about the
can't
writing or the creativity or
the
anything like
creativity
that.
of
No,
it,
you're
but
right.
like, ain't nobody coming with the critical. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Cool. You just subjectively wish it was funner. Oh, too fucking bad, dog. Like, not saying you, but you know what I'm saying? Oh,
I
you,
know, I know.
you know what I'm saying? You were just more easily
Yeah.
digestible, but it's like, I
Right.
think he was even teasing this. Like, I consider whenever I see the anthology episodes, it really makes me think of the Montague episode from
Yeah.
season what, like, where
Mhm.
again, no one saw that coming, but that is literally one of my favorite
Yeah.
fucking
Me
episodes
too.
of Atlanta.
Me
Like
too.
with the fucking commercials. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like that episode literally laid the
Prices on the
seeds.
can though.
Yeah, the prices on the candle. Oh my God, when that was the answer to one of
Oh
them,
my
I was like,
God.
yes, yes, yes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they were teasing that they were ready to create these worlds, right?
Right.
I can't say how Atlanta this show is, right? I'll leave that for someone from Atlanta to tell me
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
right? But I think this is so much more like posing how does Atlanta translate worldwide? So even with the reparations episodes, like I felt like that could happen. All what we saw happen in some weird world that happened in Atlanta. This anthology episode, like, it clearly happened in the South. Yeah, it could happen. It could have happened in Atlanta,
True.
right? I
Right.
think about every anthology episode this season. It could have happened in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Even though the Trinity to the Bone episode, which I loved, happened like
Mhm.
in New York, right? but it could have happened in Atlanta. Like it's just it. Yeah, man. For me, I know what I'm strapped in for every single week, and I think that's why I love it. I strap in and say, but I was actually on my couch because I told you I was sleeping all day yesterday, and that was the last thing I put on. Well, actually, the last thing I put on last night was Barry. And if y'all ain't watching Barry on HBO, get your life. Watch Barry, one of the most incredible shows.
That's what I keep hearing. I haven't watched
television.
It yet,
it is best acting on television right now.
Okay.
Bill Hader.
Is it a comedy or
it's a dramedy.
Okay, cool.
It's a dramedy. It's awkward laughter. It's guttural laughter, but it's like, I shouldn't be. Why am I laughing at this? I never thought I'd be laughing at something like this. Writing, acting, performance is incredible. Give it all the awards. Fucking love Barry.
Check it out.
Yeah, bro, you will literally be texting me like after every single episode, like especially when you get to this season. I'm about to rewatch the last night's episode because, dog, my heart was like, Jesus, like it's just so much. But yeah, you can't compare Atlanta to anything else, and that's what puts it in a league of its own. And I think you will have to have time in a similar way of how we consume Kendrick. And I said, cool, just give it time. He's going to release a legacy album. What'd he do? And just let's see who is inspired by him. I think Atlanta is going to be ranked in shows with children that come after it, and it's going to be the best of the things that have ever came before it. And I think Atlanta is going to go down and probably as culturally relevant as a Fresh Prince with time because of what it said in the time and how it said it.
That'll be interesting. That'll be very, very interesting.
Yeah, man.
We talked about anthology episodes and what could have happened in Atlanta. Well, what for sure did happen in Atlanta right after we recorded last week is that in Fulton County, your favorite rappers, Young Thug and Gunna.
One of my favorite rappers.
Oh, man. Well, both of them are locked up and won't be let out for any time soon.
Yeah.
Charged on a 56 count RICO case in Fulton County. Not a federal case, but it is a state RICO case.
Yep.
Charging them with being a part of the criminal street gang called YSL, as we have all known Young Thug to be a part of. And they are charging them with obviously 56 different counts when it comes to racketeering, a bunch of different things. And for many people who are legal eagles that I've seen on Twitter and on CNN and all those things, it's not looking good for at least Young Thug. I see that Gunna may have a better shot of getting out than Young Thug, but Young Thug is not looking good at all. What are your thoughts on this? Have you been able to kind of do any research or consume any of this since last week? If so, what's your thoughts on your boy?
Shit, y'all. I saw this and literally like I was stunned. How can a gang be intimidating with the name Young Slime Life?
I was thinking that too.
There ain't no gang, y'all. Stop. It's cap. No, to be honest, it's wild because like the DA, we can't even say that, oh man, the DA is targeting them because she's targeting everybody. The DA very well was seeing
she's trying to clean it up.
She's trying to clean it up. She is actually attempting to at one point go after Trump and wants to hit him with a similar charge with RICO.
Wow,
being a blanket a blanket accusation, right? So it's more, bro, RICO comes from the mob, man. Yeah. Like comes from the fucking mob. Like that's what's wild to me. And again, people are getting hit with RICOs all across the US. This is not just, and yes, rappers, like rapper groups. They're cleaning out. They're
using some of their lyrics too.
They're using some of the lyrics.
We talked about that.
We did.
With Jay-Z trying to get some kind of, what was it, law or bill passed?
Yeah.
Or not being able to use the
lyrics.
But
it was multiple artists. It's Jay-Z, it's Robin Thicke, it's a lot of rappers.
Right.
You know, I said Jay-Z, Robin Thicke. It's a lot of rappers. Right. Yeah, it's a lot of rappers and Robin Thicke. And rapey songwriter Robin Thicke. Oh, hey. That weird ass nigga with the blurred lines. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they are looking to make sure that rap lyrics can't be used in court. I just don't know why we're self-snitching.
Literally. I think it's one of the stupidest things rappers do.
I just don't know why
One of
we're
the stupidest
self-snitching.
things they do. Like, you've literally gotten to a place where people are paying you to either perform or make a song, make an album, come speak here, come
Yeah.
on this show. And what you decide to do once you get in the studio is to tell about all the foolish things that you did a year ago. That's stupid. That is so stupid. I'm not a big Young Thug fan anyway, or a Gunna fan for that matter. So I guess for me, this didn't hit me as hard. But I do think it's just really stupid. Like, you get to this point, and I saw million what is it? $1 million worth of game. I don't know if you heard of that
Yeah, I
podcast
know.
with
Yeah.
Gilly and Wallow. And
Mhm.
Wallow, I guess, was in jail for like 20 something years.
Mhm.
But when rappers come on, he's always talking about the importance of going clean and blah blah. And I guess he
Mhm.
had Young Thug on
Mhm.
a couple weeks before he got arrested.
Yeah.
But one thing he said was that, like, it's so easy for you to create generational wealth where you're at now, because
Mhm.
you're already at a place where now you can build on what you already have.
Yeah.
Why give that up
Yeah.
for some kind of criminal thing when you can just go clean where you're at right
Yeah.
now? You get what I'm saying?
Well,
So honestly, I don't have any sympathy for him.
I mean,
It's in your songs,
yeah. Well,
and it's
I think
56 counts.
yeah. Well, and
They're
that's what
gonna
I'm
get him
saying.
on something.
It's not the Rico that's going to put him away for life because he's
Right.
facing life. It's the
Yeah.
fact that yes, they found guns at the house. They
Mhm.
found all these things, right? And
The car that was supposedly used for a
yeah,
murder or
man, like
something
they
like that.
found all this on us, and the
Mhm.
Rico they've been coming after the underlings at YSL for a
Yeah.
while. And
Right.
of course, like yeah, like you hope that the young cats within the group don't snitch, but it's not looking good for Thug, and it's not going to be the Rico that's going to put him away for a
You
long
say you hope
time.
they don't snitch?
Yeah,
Maybe
like
they should snitch.
no,
Maybe
man,
they should.
I don't know, I don't know. It's not because there's also a part of me that feels like and know right the understanding like why gangs were created in the first place. You know, when we consider why gangs started in the 60s and the 70s, right? Um advents of Panthers, right?
Mhm.
It was groups there to protect our communities. And
Right.
I know that we are a far, far, far,
I was
far,
about to say that's
far.
a reach, brother.
I know we're a far away from that now. But I wonder, and I think there's a part of me that holds on to what is Young Thug doing what he can to protect himself and his, right? In the midst of all this. And I consider their
By
rivalry.
doing what?
I don't know, like whatever it is that he's doing, right? They found all these guns, and again, this is me hoping, like this isn't me saying this is what it was, and I think that like that's what sucks. It's not looking good for Thug. I'm not defending it. I'm saying like, is there a part of even modern gangs and certain rappers because like I was talking about to like my homies and cousins in Atlanta, and they'll always say, be like, "Yo, Thug and Gunna, they run Atlanta. Yeah, like they own that apartment, they own this, they do this." Like, I think it's like, are they in some ways, even if they got beefs with other gangs, are they still in some ways protective agents for certain communities?
And
And
they may be.
they may be, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what will that be brought up in court? And is there a way to spin it where it's like, hey, man, like, and again, I don't know. It's not looking good, but especially with narrative, what they say in the song. I'm not saying this is the case. I just don't want to see black people have to go to jail. But if you did it, you did
Me
it.
either.
And if you're self
Exactly.
snitching, you're self snitching. Like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he ain't do it. Trust me, it's not looking good for Thug.
No, I got you.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I shoot, I don't know what he
Mhm.
did or what he
Yeah.
didn't do, who he had do something. Like, I heard they said that they were trying to get permission for him to kill somebody in jail already.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know all about that. I just know the justice system that we are unfortunately a part of
hmm
in society today is one that will use anything at their discretion to put a
Totally.
black man away.
Totally.
So if you know that already,
Yeah.
and there's 56 counts coming at you,
Yeah.
it's just not looking good.
Yeah.
Especially if, like you said, you're self snitching. So I don't
Yeah,
know what's
man.
gonna happen, but hopefully if there was no other words or podcast or old gangster that could inspire you, hopefully something like this will inspire people who have reached that level of riches and fame to
Yeah.
fully change and go the other direction. Hopefully.
Yeah. I would hope so, man. And you know, they put Gucci away, they put Wheezy away. I mean, like we've seen any and all rappers go away for some time.
Schmurda just got out.
This Schmurda just got out, and Schmurda is a case study. Shmurda is quite the case study because he really changed his life. He really transformed his life,
Yeah.
and he's saying that the old homies ain't fucking with him no more because he's just not about that life. He said even
Well,
his
so
label.
be it.
So be it. But you know what's even worse is that his label, like even the politics of music, right? Because the black trauma is not there. That's also what I mean when I say the old homies too. And it's like,
gotcha.
so be it. But then it sucks when it's like, it's your money because look, the black trauma ain't profitable no more.
Right. Well, that just goes back to something we've talked about in the past. Hopefully, we see somebody like a Jay or somebody like what's the older cat that runs with Drake that helped put together the Kanye Drake
Jay Prince.
concert. Yeah, somebody like that who has the money, who has the notoriety to put together or put Shmurda in a place to create new music outside of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because there are outlets, there are people that can help him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's just about people actually reaching out and doing their part. If somebody's really trying to change their life around and now we don't want to hear about, since you're not putting out black trauma, we don't want to pay you, then there should be another route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, man, that's our show for today. It's a lot to get through. It's a lot to unpack this week. I know we breathed after the first segment. We're going to breathe again. Hale, breathe with me right here. Thank y'all so much for listening, man. I really appreciate it. Shit, dog. Look, let me tell you, man. It was a lot of shit this week, man. Look, a lot of trauma. I almost died this week, but baby, we here. Y'all feel me? So, for Unfiltered Gems, my name is Malcolm Alexander.
And I am Ryan Hale. We will see you guys next week.
Follow us everywhere at Unfiltered Gems Podcast. Thanks for subscribing, listening, viewing. We'll see y'all soon.
Out.